Hey, good morning, biology students. I'm going to make a little video here while I'm watching the video, and then I'm going to take some notes, and this will help you learn about cell respiration, how we're all alive right now, how our cells are getting ATP.
And I'm back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, AP Biology, and welcome to AP Biology Daily. This is topic 3.6, cellular respiration. And this is Daily Video 1. My name is Chris Mansour, and I'm coming to you from room 102 at Tiffin Columbian High School in beautiful downtown Tiffin, Ohio. In today's Daily Video 1, this lesson will describe the process that allows organisms to use energy stored in biological molecules. So now we're going to focus on us. It's all about us now, how we use energy. And the skill that we're going to focus on is constructing a graph, plot, or a chart, which is very important. And so what will we learn? We're going to learn a lot of good stuff. But first, what processes do all forms of life use to produce ATP? How do eukaryotes coordinate cellular respiration? And how is an electrochemical proton gradient formed during cell respiration? Again, might be a good little pre-assessment to pause the video and try to jot down some answers.
Okay, I'm pausing. I'm going to jot those things down. What processes do all forms of life use to produce ATP? I'm going to go quick because I'm just going to say processes to make ATP. Then eukaryotic, remember eukaryotes are the ones with nuclei, and they're like us. Bacteria are prokaryotic and they do not have mitochondria, so they do it a little bit different. And then finally, the electron or electrochemical proton gradient. And I'm not sure if I'll put that in this video or not because that's a little bit more intense. All right, let's watch.
So, fermentation and cell respiration are processes that allow organisms to use energy stored in biological molecules. You may have heard of these terms before. And so, cellular respiration and fermentation are characteristics of all life forms. All living things have to use energy in one form or another. Cellular respiration and fermentation release chemical energy from organic molecules like glucose. And as you see in my image there, we have glucose as the starting point. And so oxygen, though, is not used during the process of fermentation, but is used during the process of cellular respiration. So if you look on my image there, you can see where I put a red box around oxygen is not present. And then oxygen is present. So it's kind of like you get to a fork in the road. Oxygen not present, oxygen present. Which way do we go? And the one key thing here is that fermentation and anaerobic respiration are not the same process. Fermentation, the products are lactic acid or ethanol, where in anaerobic respiration, we still have pyruvate. So that's just kind of a key point I wanted to point out there. So again, what I tell my students is draw the picture. So maybe you may want to pause the video here, draw this picture, maybe add notes to it as we go. Again, use these videos as you see fit. So let's talk about cell respiration a little bit. Cell respiration, eukaryotes, we're eukaryotes, right? So we're doing cell respiration now. It involves a series of coordinated enzyme catalyzed reactions that capture energy from biological molecules. There's a lot of words in that sentence. Maybe if there's some terms you're not sure of, pause the video and define them. So I have a picture here of cell respiration, a quick overview. Again, maybe stop and draw, may be helpful. So cellular respiration involves the release of chemical energy through the breakdown of glucose and creates an energy storing molecule called ATP. Again, ATP is ultimately what we want to produce. And so what cell respiration does, it takes this chemical energy through the breakdown of glucose to create more ATP. So ATP is used by all cells to do biological work. So biological work to transport materials, for movement, for reproduction, whatever it may be, ATP is used by cells to do work. And cell respiration involves multiple metabolic pathways. We're back to those pathways again. Pathways are important, right? They're sequential so that you can release small amounts of energy each time. And so our first one is glycolysis, which occurs in the cytoplasm. So you can see where that arrow just popped in. That's glycolysis. All of these processes start with glycolysis. Glycolysis is a conserved process. All living things do glycolysis. Pyruvate oxidation. All right, pyruvate, right? Which is one of the products of a reaction in oxidation. You're losing an electron. That occurs in the mitochondria. So you can kind of see where I put that red bracket in. And then there's the arrow pointing to that process. The Krebs cycle, also known as the citric acid cycle, occurs in the mitochondria. And so there's your Krebs cycle, also known as the citric acid cycle. And then finally, we have the electron transport chain, which occurs in the mitochondria. So again, a lot of steps here, a lot of small pathways. I would stop, draw the picture, put glycolysis, pyruvate oxidation, Krebs cycle, electron transport. And so let's talk about electron transport first. So electron transport chain transfers energy from electrons in a series of coupled reactions. And so essentially what the electron transport chain does, the reactions occur in membranes of chloroplasts and mitochondria and in the cell membranes of prokaryotes. And so there again, in that blue box, I'm showing you electron transport chain. So an electron transport chain facilitates, again, facilitate means to help, a series of coupled reactions used during cell respiration. Again, if you're not sure what coupled means, maybe pause the video, maybe ask a friend, put a text in the Zoom chat. And so the electron transport chains allows for more controlled and efficient transfer of energy. When I talked about those biological pathways before, you want these small series of steps. It's more efficient. And then the electron transport chain uses electron energy to establish, again, an electrochemical proton gradient across a membrane. Lots of words. Again, don't get overwhelmed. Pause the video, draw the picture, go through and figure out ways to define these. But the point of the electron transport chain is to create this electrochemical proton gradient. And there it is. There's that, creating that gradient as those protons are moving across. And
I think that was a lot. I already took over a page. I'm writing with a marker here, so it's not that much, but I'm on to my second page. I'm going to stop the video here, and I want you to, I assigned this on AP Classroom, so you can get into it there, but I want you to stop to get this idea in your head. There's 3 steps, right? There's the glycolysis step. That's the one that happens in all living things in the cytoplasm. Doesn't need oxygen. Then, one of the products of glycolysis is called pyruvate or pyruvic acid. That is what actually goes into the mitochondria and then goes into this thing called the Krebs cycle. And then that is what drives the electron transport chain, which is why I stopped the video here. This is a really good image to know, and it's how we make the most of our ATP. But I want you to make sure that you kind of stop here, get your wits about you with your notes, and then go on. So I will continue this again. Thank you for watching.